Hello. Welcome to the Plus Your Business show. That was Plus Your Business. That was. As you can tell, I am well again. People may not realize I've been ill for the week. But I'm great now because James Dearsley is here and Travis is here too, and we're doing the Plus Your Business show on virtual reality and marketing. Welcome to James.
Hey Martin, I tell you what, you're giving it to me. If I've got a voice by the end of this, I'm going to be amazed.
Come on, a little bit. It's the joys of the technology. It's good to see you. We'll be well. We'll be well. This is great. I've got some California sunshine out there, which I'll be going to very soon. Now, James is a digital marketer. He's the founder of the Digital Marketing Bureau. Yeah, you're going to get these today. Bureau, it's a word. And he's in the Plus Your Business Academy, level 4 cadet. And there's his image. There we have. He's a pace setter. And I am super keen for James to be the man on this planet that is known for virtual reality marketing. In other words, when you put into that in search, what I want, and I'm encouraging James, or something similar. And this is what we do in the Academy, is support people to find their uniqueness and for it to surface in search and to be the authority in that thing. So, welcome, James. We're going to come on and talk with you in a second about VR, AR, and everything else in between. Hello to Sheila and to Tanya and to Jeff and to Dave and to Nikki and to Roxanne and to Vicky and to Will and everyone else who's here. And thanks as always to Travis. Travis is pushing the boundaries, and we've got some cool things going on with some images today, which we think are going to be super crisp because he's testing things out, which is great. So let's come into, for everybody, the tips to start with. And I got an announcement, but a private announcement for you all in a little bit if you want to get involved with Plus Your Business further. But contact. First of all, for people in the Academy, level 1. Very simple. +1, comment, share other people's content. That is the level 1 tip for today. If you do that, then you begin to get people's attention. If you add value to the share by adding a comment and giving more content, more value to people, then the person who has originally shared it sees that you are trying to make your network look like theirs. Okay, that's the first one, level 1 tip. Level 2 tip. This is on the blog for those that want this as well. Look to use URL shorteners. There's a whole blog piece on why, and that's great when you're in level 2. Okay, level 3. I will sing in between if we don't. Level 3, we are doing it slightly differently, but you notice how crisp the images are this week. This is why we're doing it a slightly different way. Can't remember what the level 3 tip was. What was the level 3 tip? Oh yeah, look to build alliances. That's what the level 3 tip is. We haven't got the image to match it quite yet. It's kind of. I'll just keep talking. I'll keep talking. Okay, that's the level 3 tip. Oh, Travis. We're using a different system. We're actually, we can talk about this, we're using the Hangout Toolbox to do it as opposed to preloading. And there are a few, there we go, look to build alliances. That's your level 3 tip. Is there a level 4 tip? Is there? Is it?
Come on, Travis.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Level 4. We got the meeting. We've got tomorrow. We're going to be doing some keyword analysis stuff. And level 4, to get a top Google search result, you have to work really hard so that you deserve to get it. You know what that means if you're in level 4. You want to produce a piece of content, series of pieces of content that allow you to surface there. And the final one, the level 5ers, think brand equity. There we go. Okay, so thank you, Travis. Let's come across. So that's all for the Academy members. And come across to James Dearsley. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Yeah? Although I've lost my voice, it's sort of going towards the end, appearing slowly.
Yeah, so we'll make it. It's a half-hour show. It's snappy. We're good. So let's talk about. You and I like this geekiness, don't we? So I'm going to tell the quick backstory. We connected around this probably when I did Oculus Rift last year, and Travis has even probably got a picture of the headset of Oculus Rift. Do you want to explain for people what it is, what it does, and then we'll start to come into the marketing applications of this one to start?
Yeah, cool. So let's just break it all the way down to sort of just very, very basicness, which is you and I are used to doing marketing in the real world, in the reality world, which is what we have here. We are looking at reality. We conceive reality every single day, and we interact with reality. On the other side, totally on the other side of the spectrum, there is virtual reality, which is immersing yourself in a totally and utterly different world, where you can be immersed visually using, actually Travis has got that one, I've actually got exactly the same headset here, which is the dev kit. It's the very original, the dev kit one, where you are visually immersed in a different world. So that's virtual reality on the other side, which is a totally opposite end of the spectrum. And obviously there are marketing opportunities within that space. There are some frightening things going on in that. And then right in the middle, you've sort of got, and it's very pertinent to what we're probably going to discuss, which is you've got reality, virtual reality, you've got augmented reality, which is in the middle of that, which is essentially superimposing digital imagery over your physical presence. So in essence, it's right snap bang in the middle.
And so let's look at Google Glass, for instance, is one device, which we know is probably going to move into a next sort of generation phase, but that's an augmented reality device.
Yeah, exactly. So Google came out with its own product. Caused an awful lot of traffic and a lot of awareness. So most people are aware of what Google Glass is, or at least it was, because Google Glass ceased its what's called its Explorer program probably a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago now. But the point is, yes, with Google Glass, it's a little tiny camera. I haven't got mine with me here, but a little tiny screen right in front of your eye, and you are superimposing imagery over that view of the real world. So, for example, in the real estate sector, for example, you could be looking at a bare piece of earth, and you could superimpose the imagery of the building which is going to be on that ground in the glass. That is superimposing physical images over your, digital images over your physical world.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got to answer the question. Tanya, do I travel with Marmite? No, but I did buy some at the shop the other day, and I've even got a picture, and it was like $19, which is ludicrous. But anyway, so Marmite, for those, it's like
love Marmite.
Love Marmite. Marmite. Somebody please tag Marmite in the show comments and just let them know that myself and James Dearsley love Marmite and do accept parcels of delivery wherever we are. Okay, James. So virtual reality. I remember. So I did stand up last year on virtual reality, and it was like you could be on a roller coaster, and I love that. You know the roller. Have you done the roller coaster stuff?
Really? Yep.
I love the roller coaster, right? Or you could be in a spaceship, and it feels like you're in a spaceship, and you're in this absorbed world. But the thing is, in the future, you're in this absorbed world, and you're looking at it going, but your house could be robbed at the same time, because you're kind of away from this reality. And so then you get to augmented reality, and it's somewhere in between. You're still present, you're still got there. And when people go, yeah, but Google Glass is gone, where does it go? There's a patent for contact lenses for the equivalent sort of overlay, isn't there? This is where it's going, is that we are increasingly, everything's getting smaller and everything's getting kind of closer to us. So the future is going to be different to what we have now. This is very early stages. What do we do then in terms of virtual reality? In terms of Oculus Rift, we don't need to go into the background. People can Google and find out more on that. But as a marketer, where are the opportunities then? What are the possibilities?
Well, I think the first thing, and I think this is actually quite pertinent. Yes, you can go away and Google virtual reality and find out a little bit more about it. But I think the most pertinent point here, for those of you who are not familiar with what virtual reality means and why, yeah, we're talking about some fun stuff about going on roller coasters, but the very nature of Facebook is changing its business model. Because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, purchased the Oculus Rift, what we've just shown you and what Travis has put up as a screen share, in March of last year. They paid $2 billion for this to a 21-year-old kid who built this headset. It's not the only one, but it's the one that Facebook purchased. Why is it pertinent for us marketers? Because obviously you've got two worlds. My world collided on that day, which is my digital marketing world and the world of the future tech and innovation. The point is Facebook have arguably one of the biggest databases of people out there. Why did they buy it? They were losing the millennial market like you wouldn't believe, and they recognized that the gaming industry was, as classic innovation occurs, a brilliant symbiotic relationship between technology and why it would take off in the first place. Look at computers and microchips. The reason that went was because there was a symbiotic relationship between the two. So this is not a fly-by-night technology. It has a symbiotic relationship with gaming, porn, as is often the case, and other very commercially viable opportunities. Real estate, virtual tourism. The point is, virtual reality is here to stay. Not in its current configuration. Don't get us wrong with that. Martin, you mentioned the contact lenses. The point is, as marketers, and this is a forethought, we've got to think now about where we're going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years' time. The point is, this is too clunky, right? It's too big. People are going to laugh at us. There's a journalist out there at the moment who's saying he put on a set of virtual reality goggles in an airport lounge to immerse himself in a different world. It's not about that. It's about gearing ourselves up for a world where essentially we will not know if people are in reality, where they are in augmented reality. So they are walking, let's use the analogy of the airport lounge, where they're walking down, and as they're walking down in the terminal, they're getting a little alert saying, actually, you've signed up to XY app. There's 20% discount here in Gap today. You won't know if you're seeing that. Equally, you could just be sitting down, and let's carry on the airport analogy, you could be sitting down in an airplane, scared out of your wits because you don't like flying, and you could simply just say, look, I don't even want to think that I'm here, and be immersed in a virtual world, which is not on a plane. There's a big, big move in the plane industry at the moment to make people feel more comfortable. Give them virtual reality headset. I think it's Virgin or one of the top guys where they're putting people at ease. The point is, marketing is changing. I always say that there's a 3 I's in this, which is, as marketeers and as companies, we need to look at the future being far more interactive in marketing. We need to look at the marketing world as being far more innovative. We need to innovate and using these sorts of things. But ultimately, and most importantly, marketing is becoming far, far more immersive. So innovative, interactive, and immersive. And you know what? It's not about virtual reality. It's not about augmented reality. The point is we're going to reach a time when people will be able to select the reality that they're in. Now, we could call that interactive reality. We could call it selective reality, which is what I tend to prefer, because people will have this option to select where they want to be. We need to start thinking about that now and gearing ourselves up for it. So, you know, a bit scary, but pretty cool.
Right, hold that thought. We've got more to discuss in a second, James. I think that's a brilliant introduction. So thank you. And we're going to come out to the shout-outs now of the week for the Academy members. Travis. Dun, 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 dun. That's the little interim music bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, do you know what? We're about to be descended upon, and the dog's about to woof by the kids. You ready for this? This could be an event. Okay, here's the shout-outs. If everybody could be tagged in the event thread, that'd be awesome. First shout-out, level 1 cadet Nicole Levac. We've hung out in level 1. She's great. So she's awesome. You want to add her to your circles, everybody, and just give her a little tag on the thread if she's not here. So thank you. Level 1 and level 2. That's Travis. That's not level 2. That's Travis. Oh, there. Level 2, we have Will Monroe, who is going to astound you at some point because he writes incredibly well. He's very detailed orientated, and he does some image stuff. You're going to see this, and I'm encouraging Will to get blogging and certainly start blogging in the platform. So Will is a level 2 cadet. So thank you there, Travis. Level 3. That's Travis again. And level 3 is Marc-Andre Beauchamp, who is a level 3 cadet. He is a super friendly guy, and he's doing great, and he's working with Michel Rebel, and both of them speak French, which is good. So if that won't even do the French accent. If you're French speaking,
love to speak French.
So anyway, I failed to learn about 7 languages. So if you speak French, make sure you hook up with Marc-Andre and with Michel. Please tag them in the posts if you could. That'd be good. And level 4, guess who we got for level 4? We know who the level 4 shout out is as a cadet because he's here. It's James Dearsley. I don't know if we're going to get his card up, but we're going to come back to James. So this is James. So there we go. We have James in Pace Setter Cadet. Now, coming back to James. Thank you, Travis. Let's talk about. I've got. It is. You've used a word. It's kind of a bit scary and a bit, which I want to come on to in a sec because it's a big thing that's happening. And I think with Plus Your Business, people are starting to realise that it's not just about where things are now. It's about where things are going to be in the future. Let's look at a very practical application before we come to that around what's just happened today. Google Cardboard. Do you want to explain what they've just done?
Yeah, so Google Cardboard, I'll try and find an image actually. I think I've just moved it around. I don't know if we've got an image here, but Google Cardboard, so basically, way back, so what are we talking about? Just after Facebook purchased Oculus, the Google I/O Developers Conference was around. Yeah. And in the middle of a break of these great big high-powered speeches, Google basically gave out people something akin to this. I don't know if you guys can see this, and it's not exactly this, but these developers then just started building these random sort of kits, and they worked out it was Google Cardboard, which is basically a cardboard virtual reality device. And they thought they were taking the mickey, but actually they weren't. The serious sort of thought that Google were trying to put onto all their developers, and it was a message they put forward, which was immersion first. So fast forward an awful lot from there. Now you've got Google Cardboard, which is a massive thing, which basically you use your mobile phone to put in, that's a finished one, you put mobile phone in the device. There we go, Travis has put up a screenshot there, which is far better than mine. The point is you put your phone in, so suddenly you've got this high-powered Oculus stuff, right, where you've got all these wires which are connected, which is going to be a bit of a pain. Now all of a sudden you have the mass market, which is the mobile users, right? So you can send content to people's mobiles, so everybody anywhere. There are more smartphones in this world than people. Suddenly VR gets very exciting. Google today, furthering everything they've already done in the VR space, which is basically making a massive platform for it. They've just opened, which I think is quite an interesting move, they've just opened their first physical shop, and they've invited people using Google Cardboard to download their app so that anybody anywhere, even though the office is in the UK, I think, right? They've actually allowed anybody anywhere in the world to view their office and have a 5-minute walk around with a Google employees pointing out all the different aspects of the Google experience and what you can buy as Google products. So suddenly, we've already talked about gaming, we've already talked about porn, we've already talked about real estate, we've already talked about tourism. Suddenly you've got virtual commerce, which you don't even have to go to a store, you don't even have to go to a website, you can combine the two. Our websites ultimately depersonalizing our experience of shopping. Could virtual reality personalize our experience of shopping? Anywhere, anytime, anyhow. That's what they've done today.
James, can I ask real quick? Was that a video that you were viewing it through, or the example you're speaking of, where you're walking through with Google? Was it a 360-degree video?
Yeah, exactly. It seems to me, I haven't downloaded it, forgive me, but from what I can understand, yes, it's a 360-degree video immersive walkthrough of their store. I mean, let's put that into context here for a second, because you bring up a really valid point, Travis, which is 1 month after Oculus was bought by Facebook for an inordinate sum of money, within 1 month, every single one of the senior Facebook executives went to visit the Hollywood producers. They sat in front of them and said, look, start producing immersive content. Why? Because Facebook has lost its millennial audience. Why? Because they recognize gaming and film are two immense industries. My prediction, and it's a bit out there, is that Facebook won't necessarily be the social network that it currently is. I reckon they need to fill the revenues. Obviously, they're listed. They need to start proving themselves. And I've often said that Facebook will become the Netflix of the gaming and immersive film industry. It's massive, immersive film. You've got Jaunt, only 2 days ago, announced a massive tie-up with North Face. So Jaunt are a 360-degree video producer who've worked on things like the Game of Thrones, who've worked on The Hobbit, and they're tying up with big brand companies now, investigating how to use interactive film, immersive film within virtual reality. North Face have done it, Elle Magazine has done it, Topshop has done it. This is all live-streamed 360-degree video within a virtual reality environment.
Yeah, in fact, you can actually even just buy attachments that go right onto your iPhone that create that 360-degree video, and it's not incredibly expensive. And then there's also larger, of course, bigger cameras, nicer cameras that are more expensive that, yeah, they stream live 360-degree, and you can just watch right there through these goggles that you've been talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let me just put in the question, and then I've got something I haven't told people before, that there's an app that I was going to suggest, or something to download. Shal O'Connell says, who is in level 2 of the Academy, thanks, Shal. Does this include the Google Virtual Tours for Businesses? Travis, do you want to pick that up? Because you're doing that at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, in fact, I just ordered, it's funny we're talking about this, I just ordered Google Cardboard because I've started the program, and I want to use that as an ability to show those that don't have the business view done, that they can put these on and actually go through their store in that way. And right now, it's, we were just talking, it's these virtual spheres right now that you can move through, but I would imagine it's going to move towards 360-degree video as well. and interactive, where you're able to click on to different aspects maybe within the store that allow you access or more understanding, more information, or even to buy.
Cool. Now, let me add, so the business application, myself and James have been looking at photospheres. You've got to think this is just really early days, but if you want to display, then this is where it's going to go. You're going to need to have 360, because otherwise it's going to have edges to it, and you're going to need an interface. And this is why cardboard has removed the barrier, the obstacle that a lot of people have had, which I don't want to spend a couple of $100 or whatever. It was quite. I think Google were probably having a bit of a chuckle at the time, because they said, "Look, you can just put the phone in it. Google and Facebook just spent $2 billion. We just put your phone in, $19 or whatever." So we can see that there needs to be an interface at the moment. There needs to be the content, and it's happening now. What I want to. This is what I'm going to. If you've got cardboard, or if you haven't, it's worth getting to understand what's going on. And a lot of this is going on from your mobile device. VRSE-virtual reality. It's VRSE, virtual reality. This is a film that was created for Sundance. And it's only about 3 minutes long. And I downloaded it. And it's one of those things, I watched it the first time. It's probably, I don't know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes long. James, have you tried this? Have you seen this one?
I've heard about it. I haven't done it myself, no.
Mental is the word I would use, right? So I did it, and then the second time I did it, I was at a friend's, and he and his wife were there, and I stood up, and I loved the roller coaster ones, and they're just fun. And I gave it to them. And he's in his 60s, so I did it again, right? And I didn't get it the first time, this first one. And I put it on, and I watched it. Please, if you've got cardboard, do it, right? It's a crazy experience. I put it on, and there's a train that comes towards you, and then you look down, and something happens, and then this thing happens. And you realize what has just occurred. And I can't. Somebody eventually will come up and go, "Oh my God, what a punch!" James, you're going to go, "Oh, Struth, that was just mental." And what they have done is managed to tell the story that you never expect to be told, and the emotional experience that you have. And I don't want to give up the punchline because it's crazy, but you go, this is where it's going. That was at Sundance, a film festival using VR, high quality. The interface was only cardboard, and you feel something, and you go, oh, Struth. That is the power of it, and that app is free to download. James.
What was the name of that, real quick, Martin? That app?
VRSE-virtual reality for Google Cardboard.
And let's just talk about that, because I think it's one of the fundamental principles of where virtual reality marketing is going to go. Because not only is it readdressing every aspect of the business world. I mean, we talked about some fun stuff. You can talk about virtual meetings. Our Hangout's going to change because you could be simply in a virtual meeting with people in virtual reality. They're bonkers, but it's there. I've seen it. I've been involved in a meeting with people in virtual reality in different countries in a built-up environment which didn't even exist. Right.
So do you think you can throw like 360-degree video through a Hangout?
No, not through a Hangout.
Oh, okay.
But you can tie up virtual reality headsets with Microsoft Kinect systems, because obviously they detect movement, and you, in the sense, because you could be totally on the other side of the world, and you could be tied up through certain systems, they could see you as an avatar, and you could be inside. Let's take real estate, for example. You could be in a development which doesn't even exist in Dubai. The realtor could be in New York, and the potential client could be in Russia. And in theory, you could meet in this room that doesn't even exist, and your countries, and it's mind-boggling. But what I just wanted to make a point on, which is very, very serious in terms of the marketing application for this, for people looking at this, is that the very nature of 360-degree storytelling is shaping the very nature and the very core of marketing and filmmaking. Because you think, what you just said there, Martin, is absolutely paramount. You're just like, oh my God, I'm immersed in this thing, and I haven't a clue what's going on. And wow, I didn't expect that to happen. To bring a quote, because I thought this was so important, and it was from one of the key guys in Hollywood who said, it's going to require a complete rethinking of storytelling, a complete rethinking of art. That's how VR is going to work. And to put it even more pertinently on this, and I've got so excited by it, I can't even remember where it's going. 360
That's a good word, that. I like that word.
What's that?
Pertinent. That one. I like
it. You've made up. But yeah, 360. Oh, that was it. Because imagine if you're in filming, right? If you're going to these Hollywood directors and saying, right, we want to film in 360-degree immersive reality, and you go, okay, cool, right, brilliant. Okay, the fun thing for the users like us is we are central to the story. So one of the big challenges is saying, okay, well, how the heck do we film when the viewer can look where they want to look? Not only they can view where they want to look, but obviously directional sound. Because if you look that way in reality, the sound is different to when you're looking for something. So that's a challenge in terms of storytelling. But fundamentally, there's a practical challenge. Where the hell do the film crew and the sound guys go, and the runners and the directors?
I mean, you're talking about my world now, and that's like even just continuity alone.
Yeah.
Like you should have made a film.
Let's not get too geeky with this, Travis.
Well, no, but it is interesting.
We've got 4 minutes left.
They do have, just so you know, James, and the rest of you all, they do have 360-degree cameras that also have different sound around it. Like it's picking up 3 or 4 different angles of sound as well. So the equipment's there, and YouTube is gearing up to allow for 360-degree video on YouTube soon as well.
How cool.
So it's happening. This is the thing. It's happening. We've got only 3 minutes left. We've got a couple of things to do. So Travis, but firstly, if anybody wants to know about Hangouts, get in touch with Travis. Travis, if anybody wants to tag him on the thread, get in touch. But also, Travis is integral to what we're doing with Plus Your Business going forward. So he's yes, very good. He's also doing this trusted photographer route. So if you're in San Diego, we're going to be chatting about that again. Okay, last few minutes. First of all, spam of the week this week is literally going to be this, because I failed to find anything. This is spam original. I took this photo in a shop in America. I haven't eaten spam for years. I went to the filter in the UK community. Trust me, there's nothing that you'd want to see on a Hangout that I found this week in that. James, you could throw some of the spam out of the community once in a while, by the way, as you're a moderator in the UK.
I'm quite enjoying looking at it, though. That's the problem.
Nobody wants to look at that spam filter. Anyway, so that's spam of the week. You're not going to have any this week. We'll see what happens next week. Maybe a special spam thing. Last 2 minutes, James. Hints and tips. What do people need to do who are watching this that can take, because a lot of people aren't big, they're not the big movie companies, although maybe people are tying into how they can get involved. What kind of practical steps for people to take?
There is no such thing as a practical step when it comes to virtual reality, because quite frankly, it is so, in theory, it is so out there. I just think people need to be aware of it, they need to follow it, they need to understand it. They also need to accept that, do you know what? Because it has this whole area of symbiosis in the sense of it's got industries that is interested in it. It's got Google, it's got Facebook interested in it. Start using it. Have fun with it. That's the main point of how this sort of stuff is really cool, right?
We understand it as well, isn't it? Experience it, understand it, feel it. Because it changes. When you do it, it changes.
Everybody's got a mobile phone. Everybody can download the Google Camera app. Everybody can go to eBay and get a Google Cardboard for £15. What's that? Well, they're shipping 500,000 Google Cardboard units at $45, right? It is not expensive. And you know what? Have fun with your family, have fun with your kids, have fun with your friends, create experiences. They're going to go, wow, that's freaking amazing. Because I can tell you now, you will be so far ahead of anybody else just because you're having fun with it. And you'll then gain an understanding, and you'll be head and shoulders above everybody else.
Perfect. Thank you so much, James, for being the guest on this week's Plus Your Business show. Thanks to Carolyn Dardanelle for giving the link to the download, or to the app that I suggested. Very finally, Travis, we have Tool of the Week, which is Steady Demand. If we can just bring up that, and if we could tag Steady Demand in. So that's particularly useful if you are managing Google Pages, and somebody could tag them in the thread. That would be marvelous. Thank you to Nina and to Tanya and to Monica and to Shell and to Sheila and again to Carolyn and Julie and Matthew and everyone else for watching. Thanks for being here. That was the Plus Your Business show. See you next week. Thank you so much, James, and thank you as always to Travis.